Hi everyone, I'm Vincent Muhanji once again, Director Living Hope Therapeutic Center, found in Chapotani-Kakowa Division, Mbarara City South. You're most welcome to our second edition of this mass sensitization. We want to thank you so much for always following us on YouTube, for following us on Twitter. Thank you for the support you render to us. Thank you very much those who have come to seek treatment. We can't thank you enough. Today, I want to share with you something very, very quintessential, and it's something that most people have quite often misunderstood. And this is none other than trauma. Trauma is a word that most people have come to understand. It's quite often and quite easy to meet someone and they're like, oh, I am traumatized. Oh, I met an accident on the roadside today. I feel I am so much traumatized. So we quite often think that trauma is an event, that trauma is that something horrible I've witnessed. It's abuse. It's something shocking. But according to Gabor Mate, he defines trauma as a wound, because the word trauma has its origin in Greek, which literally translates for a wound. So trauma is simply a psychological wound. And how do we get this wound? According to Mate, once again, he gives us two kinds of trauma. He classifies them into two groups. One, he classifies the first group under the big T traumas. And this is where we can talk of divorce of a parent, you can talk of domestic violence, you can mention of a major accident, war, those big events that happen and inflict pain on us. Actually, the meaning of trauma is not what happens to me. Trauma literally means that what happens inside of me as a result of these events. And therefore, who is traumatized and who is not? According to Gabor, there are so many people who think they are not traumatized simply because they have never witnessed a major event that is traumatizing. For example, if I still have my both parents and I grew up well, they were there when I was growing up, they supported me through school, then there is always a temptation to think that I am not experiencing any form of trauma. But under the small t traumas, again classified by Gabor Mate, we have, it's not necessarily big traumas that inflict pain on a child, but the small traumatic experiences could include a child. We grew up in these families. I don't know for you, but for me, I grew up in a family where if you cried as a child, it would be an offense. You cry, they beat you. Or you do something wrong, they punish you. So imagine your mother beats you up. When you try to cry, she holds your mouth, keep quiet. That is so traumatizing. Now, this is under the small t traumas. Another example is this young child who is crying, literally asking the parents to come and hold him or her. But for some of the mothers, especially from our African continent, when a child cries, they literally will tell this child, you cry milk. If you finish, we will boil it for you. I mean, it's funny, meaning that your tears are not at all precious. If you think they are precious, continue and cry until you finish. And then you'll sort yourself and sleep. But then, when this happens, this child is deeply, deeply wounded. Because one of the emotional physiological needs of a child is to be held in arms. You hold this child wants to be held, this child wants to smile with this parent, and at that moment when they want to smile, the mother is busy ignoring them, lost into household chores, and this child is left alone to struggle, to cry. And this goes along throughout the life of this young person, and it's manifested later on in the way this child behaves. Therefore, most of us behave the way we behave because of what we've gone through, either as the big T traumas or as a result of the small T traumas. I therefore want to encourage everyone out there that please find out why your spouse, for example, behaves the way she behaves, he behaves. Find out why your child, your young man, your girl behaves the way she behaves. And do not pass judgment. Try to understand them. And if you cannot understand them, then come to us and we'll help delve deep within you and with you, and then you will be able to discover what kind of trauma your child, you yourself went through that is making you develop a certain character. So thank you very much once again. This is what I can share with you today. The good news is that trauma can be treated. And why is it? Anyone who gets a wound, a physical wound, you go to a hospital, to a clinic, they wash it, bandage it, and you are healed. Even scars, they are healed. But something, if it is understood from the major events way, then that means, for example, my father died, and so why are you telling me to seek therapy? It's nothing. It ended, full stop, period. But if I understand trauma as a wound I acquired because of the loss of my father, then I can go seek therapy and I will receive treatment. I will be healed completely, and that is how we do it. And you approach us, contact us, use the numbers on the screen below, and we'll be glad to receive you and to help you. Thank you once again. Vincent Muhanji is my name, and you are most welcome to Living Hope Therapeutic Center once again. Bye-bye.